Yeah, so we are going to continue our study of the fundamental tactics, different types of tactics and advanced tactics. So today we are going to look at a tactic which is also slightly out of the usual ones. You don't see it. Last time we had looked at interception, right, which is interference between opponent's own
intermediate blow.
Yeah, but now today we are going to look at intermediate blow. And what does that mean? I will tell you. It is that main when something is happening, like there is a main theme of what play is happening, and suddenly you can make a move with which you can threaten or blow something up on somewhere in the other part of the chessboard just due to intermediate, and that can cause a disarray because the defending otherwise the defending side where you are attacking, it might be properly well defended and accurately things, but suddenly when you make a move on the other side of the board, and if it is possible and if it can create a blow, then the defense gets into disarray. Okay, so let us just see, that is the theme. Okay, and it is a slightly, that's why it does not occur, it does not very obvious, so you don't see it, so you have to actually train your eyes to see it. Okay, now so it is called as it is also called as intermediate move because it is like you are making one move which is like which is of a different theme somewhere else, pointing somewhere else. So that is why it is called as an intermediate move, because it is it just distracts the attention to some other place and forces the thing to act on somewhere there, and then I think so. It is, I mean, you will understand it when we see it, okay? Because it is difficult to explain like this in text or in words, okay? So now look at this position, okay? You are looking at some forced variation, etc., and either it will work or it will not work, and then suddenly you find that it is something is different, okay? So so look at this now. So white thinks that he has got a, let us see what white has got. Okay, white plays here bishop to h3, bishop to h3, okay, and seemingly allows the bishop, so black will capture this knight first and rook will capture, okay? And so why is he allowing this, right? Because originally he thought that he will kill this bishop, but then bishop comes to d4. So it is like this. So white played this thinking that, oh, I am getting into an equal exchange, but actually black finds a intermediate move which defeats the white's objective. White was thinking that, okay, black will take this thing and then I will take his other bishop first, and then when he takes my bishop on e6, that time I will take his bishop on g1, so it will be equal, right? Knight and bishop and two bishops gone basically, so it is equal. But now what is this intermediate blow? This is the intermediate blow, bishop to d4. So after so white has taken, and sorry, black took one piece, white took one piece, and now not taking the other piece, instead of e6, this bishop is extricating itself and attacking at the same time, attacking this knight. So now if this knight you defend it, then your bishop on e6 is going, and if you defend the bishop on e6, then this knight is going. So black is ending up with two minor pieces just for one, giving up one. So black is getting up one extra minor piece.
So if you hit the knight at f6,
Yes, sir.
If you hit the knight at h6, f6, yeah, you hit the knight at f6, that is okay. Now if you hit the knight at f6, pawn will take on f6. It is still an equal, but after that still white's two pieces are under attack, and you can save only one of them. If you save whichever one you save it, the other one will go.
Yeah.
Right?
I think white should give up his knight.
White should, yeah, but whichever way you give up, now see, originally you started with an equal position. Here the position was equal, right? Black had got four minor pieces. White also had got 4 minor pieces. Now white somehow miscalculated. White played this thinking that it will be an equal exchange, and black took it promptly. Black took it. Black was tal. Now white realized that, oh, if I take on e6, I am not getting equal position. In fact, I am going to lose one piece by bishop coming to d4. Okay, so now he realized it, and then that is why he did not play this. So on bishop takes g1, he takes rook takes g1, but then bishop takes h3. And now, so black is already one minor piece up, and even if white tries playing g4, it does not help because black plays h5. So there is what do you call? There is no what do you call? Black is ready to extract his bishop or thing it. So after that, rook goes to g2. Yeah.
Yeah. G2. I mean G3.
Rook goes to g3. Then
G3.
h takes g4. And if f takes g4, okay, then now see, first of all, already this bishop is protected by the rook, and now this knight is there. So black simply plays the knight from b to d7, and everything is okay.
Sir,
Yeah,
taking the bishop on h3, if it captures on g4,
no,
white even can't capture because
yeah,
the knight is even defended.
Yeah, the knight is even defended. In fact, now next move, black is even going to capture the pawn on g4 also with his bishop.
Oh, but I think if bishop captures on g4, first white can capture on f6.
But then the other knight is there. That knight will come again on f6, and again it will protect the bishop on g4.
No, I was saying before this move. Before
this move, you cannot. But that is why black plays the other knight first. So that even if white exchanges one knight, the other knight will come on f6 and it will hit on g4. So black has emerged one piece extra, right? Very coolly. And it happened because white did not take into consideration the intermediate move. White only thought that bishop h3, and he thought that either black will take this bishop on h3 itself, in which case the knight itself will take it here and knight will go to h3. Then it's an equal exchange. Or he thought that after doing this, he will be able to take it and then black will kill the bishop on e6. But that is not the thing. There is an so this is the great intermediate, right? So you get a pattern, and so this is just the first introduction. We'll see some more examples. So
whatever white does, he's going to lose a piece major.
Correct.
Sir?
Yeah.
Sir, if no sir, it's wrong.
Let us look at another example. So here white plays a speculative sacrifice, rook to h5, not fully considering black's responses. Now we will see what happens. See, if black had taken g takes h6, sorry, g takes h5, then it is very, very simple for white. What he will do? He will play knight to f6 for king, but black will take on f6. But after that,
so queen takes
h5, and now white queen is threatening checkmate on h7, and there is nothing to prevent it. There is absolutely no way you can put anything in between, or neither can you allow an escape route for the king, right? So this is what white thought. This is what, when he sacrificed the rook, he thought that, oh, I am catching a pawn here. Now what option that black has other than taking my rook? If it does not take my pawn, sorry, if it does not take my rook, then I am simply one pawn ahead, and my rook is further attacking on the h file. So it will be very great advantage for me, right? I can even come back or whatever I can do. So this is what he thought. But black has got an intermediate move, which is knight takes d4. So just as white has sacrificed, black also sacrifices. Okay, black also sacrifices, and not only that, now white has to take it because his queen is also attacked, and the knight is this one. So white takes the knight, but now he takes G takes H5. Okay, why is this now? Now why will the same thing not work? Now let us see what happens. Knight F6 check, again forking. Idea is same. Bishop takes F6, right? And queen takes H5. Now, so it looked as if it is similar to the earlier position. Now how will you defend on H7? But
So I think bishop takes pawn check.
bishop now, because this position has changed. Now there is no E3 pawn. White earlier had an E3 pawn, but black sacrificed his C6 knight for the pawn, and now there is only one pawn. Now bishop can come with a check, and now king has to go somewhere, and now black can defend it by playing F5. Now there is no mate. So what happened is that white sacrificed his rook, black sacrificed his knight. So effectively it is like a knight versus rook. So 2 points ahead. So black is now 2 points ahead. Look at the position. Black has got 2 bishops and 2 rooks. White has got 1 bishop, 1 knight, and 1 rook. So actually entire rook white has sacrificed effectively. Right?
Yes.
And now after this, white has no chance of winning this, because now in fact, black is ready to exchange the queens now. Even if white does not exchange, black queen will come to G6, and then it will start attacking down, and it will force the thing. So there is no question of now catching the black king. The whole of white's thing was based on the fact that after queen was coming to H5, there was no way to give a thing in earlier position, because the pawns were on D4 and E3. So there was no intermediate move. But now in the change position, what happened is that after queen H5, black had got this bishop takes D4 intermediate move, check, and now because it's a check and white has to respond, so it gives black one extra move by which he can play F5. Right? So this can happen quite a lot. Actually, this is the reason why most of the simple.
So could you go to rook H5, move rook H5,
rook H5,
and then knight D4?
Knight D4.
Now, yeah, it won't work. So I was thinking of getting rook to H8.
Rook to H8, then king will capture on H8, or bishop also will capture on H8. No, I think king will capture on H8 if you sacrifice the rook simply like that. So king will take it.
So
yeah. See, in fact, you sacrificing the rook on H8 is not going to help. The whole point of attack was that when G was coming to H5, and then knight was coming here, queen was coming to H5, that is what was giving the attack. If you just sacrifice the rook on H8, black will very simply say thank you, and that's it. And after that, nothing.
So queen can come on D1.
Queen can come on D1, that is correct. But if now queen comes on D1, right, then what will happen?
So can't you just push the pawn?
He can simply push the pawn, yeah. So now black has got a very powerful, this one, knight is there on this one. So it can interfere now with all of the things that you would want to do.
So if he blocks, then
Blocks
knight. No. If he blocks with the after.
No, white to play now. It is white to play. So what do you think?
If queen comes to D1.
Yeah, if queen comes to D1.
If pawn comes on F5.
No, the knight can come on F5 after this. So if you don't take the knight, queen goes to D1, then no problem. Knight will go to F5.
If bishop captures?
Bishop captures, then no problem. Then E will capture F5.
Yes, then knight on G4 to H6.
Knight on G4 to H6. Then
it's a check.
It's a check. Then bishop will take it.
Rook takes.
Rook takes it. Now queen will come on E3 and check. Black queen will come to E3 and check.
Okay. Push your king to H1.
Yeah, then queen will what do you call, queen has now black will be able to defend after that, because he has got quite a lot of. You can just check it out. It is not right.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Sir,
All right. Yeah.
in the link you send of in the link you send, that YouTube link
Yeah.
of Pragu versus Carlson, in that it's showing Carlin or something like that. It doesn't show
No,
Carlson.
actually, so it is not only for one game. They are analyzing the entire. There are 7 games going on simultaneously. There are 14 players, right? So it's 7 games in every round. One of them is defaulted, Anish Giri to go. So 6 games were going on. So they will be commenting one by one on all the games, because these games will
Is
last.
that Pragu versus Carlson game done?
No, not yet done. It is ongoing, I think. Let me just check side by side. I think
So
it is.
in the Anish Giri versus Duboc game, Duboc didn't show up.
Yeah, that is I told, right? It was due to COVID. So
Oh,
Pragyananda versus Carlson, it is going on. It is, I think, right now it is some moves are
No,
done.
sir, that's some other name.
There are so many games going on. Van Forest versus Vidit, Rappo versus Mamedarov, Esipenko versus Shankland, Duda versus Caruana, and Grandelius versus Karyakin. So 6 games are going on.
sir, Pragananda is in the Masters, right?
Yes, Pragyananda. See, the way they do it is that they invite some young players in the Challengers section, and whoever wins the Challengers section, they seed him into the Masters event next year. So last year, Pragyananda won the Challengers event, and so this time he's playing in the Masters. And this time, Arjun Erigesi is leading in the Challenger section. So if he wins there, then he will also come in the Masters section next year. Okay. All right, let us look at this position, and
Who is to play?
it is white to play.
White. Sir,
Yeah,
white bishop on G2 captures on B7.
yeah, that is one move that you will think of, and then black will exchange it, right?
Well,
Black
that's
will.
not a profit for white. It's just
Yeah,
a
it's just a
exchange.
move. Yeah, yeah.
It's just a exchange.
Okay. So white does play here. Rook takes d4. Why white plays rook takes d4? What does white think?
Yes, sir. I think if rook captures D8 rook captures,
Yeah,
then white can E8.
knight can go to e8, attack
Yes,
the
sir.
queen, at the same time attack the g2, threaten checkmate, and there is no way to defend the checkmate and save the queen at the same time.
Yes. He
Right?
can prevent the checkmate, but he can't. Then he can't. Have to lose his queen for that to prevent the checkmate.
Yeah, but he can sacrifice the rook first, right? Or it will. So rook can come to d1 and give a check. Then the king goes up. But after that, what to do, right? After that, what to do? So there is no way. Either he will lose the queen. So that is why. That is what white thought. Okay, I will be able to. Rook will take it, and then I will go to e8, and there is no way. Even if he gives me a check on d1, I will go to h2, and after that, the queen is definitely going to be lost. But what did black do? Black did an intermediate move. Bishop takes g2.
Bishop takes the G2 bishop.
Yeah. Now white still thinks that, oh, you think you have a smart thing. I am going to play rook to d7. Now what to do? I am threatening the queen. Okay. I am threatening the queen.
Then F3.
Yes,
If he
yes,
kills your
F3,
queen, you
yes.
kill
But-
his.
Yeah.
He kills your queen, you kill his.
Yeah. So what white thought is that, see, now I am threatening your queen. If you take my rook, I have a knight which will capture the queen. If your queen goes anywhere else, if you capture with the rook, if black captures with the rook, then the knight again will go to e8.
So,
And I will get a checkmate on g7, or I will get the queen. But what white did not think of is that black can also play bishop to f3. Now the funny thing is that what does white queen is also attacked, and if he has to, this white's entire strategy was based on knight going to e8 and threatening a checkmate on g7 and attacking the queen. But for that, white queen has to be on the g file. But now that the queen is attacked, where will the queen go? If queen takes on f3, then no problem. Then the queen, then the rook on d8 will take the white rook on d7.
Then again the knight takes and the queen takes.
Yeah, queen takes, then no problem.
I think then black will be up.
Right?
Yes, black will be 2 pieces up.
Black, no, not black will be 2 pieces up. Black will be, I think, 1 piece up.
One piece up.
So what happens? See, that's what. So if rook takes d7, it's a mistake. Then knight e8, then it will win. And if queen takes c4, queen to c4 also comes. Queen comes to sing. Then also king takes d2. This is what white thought, that I will do these things, but white did not think that of bishop to f3. So now what happens is, if queen takes f3, then white's queen is no longer threatening the checkmate on g7. Then it is very easy. And if queen goes anywhere else, he cannot go anywhere else. He cannot go to g6, he cannot go to g5, and any place, other place the queen goes to, say h4, then there is no mate threat anymore. Then it is very easy.
Sir, if rook takes queen, then what?
If rook takes queen, right? If rook takes queen, then black will also capture the queen.
And then the knight can capture back, right?
Yes, but just count. Then white will have 1 rook and 1 knight.
Yeah, and then sir, next move would be d1.
And black
Sir,
would have got a bishop, knight, and a rook. So black
But
is one.
already black is 1 piece up.
Hmm?
Yeah, already black is 1 piece up.
Already black is 1 piece up. 1, 2, 3. No. See, when starting position, it was not, black was not 1 piece up.
Oh.
So can I try this position? I have a different move.
Okay. So see, we are saying that first of all, white made a mistake. Huh? Okay. After this, you think that white still has a chance?
So
Bishop takes g2, and then rook, yes, yeah. After this, do you have a different move for thing? So bishop f3, black plays this. So is there any answer for white?
Yes, sir. Capture on c7.
Capture on c7, then black captures the queen on g4.
Then capture e7.
Then capture e7. Then you capture the knight on f6.
Then capture
With the
Then
pawn.
capture f7.
Then you capture f7, but you are already 1 piece down now. Black can continue to capture the e5 pawn also. And black has got a bishop and a knight and a rook, and you would have got only 1 rook left now.
Sir, next move, you
No,
could get
sir.
it
If
to
he
d1.
captures-
Just imagine. Rook takes c7, bishop takes g4. You say rook takes e7, I say pawn takes f6. Pawn takes f6. So your knight is also gone. So now only piece left is you have got a rook and a bishop. Right?
sir, how about the move rook takes d8?
Rook takes d8, then queen will take d8.
So it's a check.
Yeah, it's a check, but
Oh
queen
yeah,
will capture.
Then my queen will take on f3.
Yeah, then my pawn will take on f6. The knight on
Yes.
f6 will be gone. Right?
So can you just play it out one time? I just want to try.
Just no, you should be able to calculate. Just look at it from this position. Rook takes c7. No, rook takes d8, queen takes d8. White queen takes on f3. Then pawn takes on f6. So what is left? White has got a queen and a bishop. Black has got a queen, bishop, and a knight. Right? f6 knight is going. Right? So
Sir, after f6 is gone, white can get a knight, but it won't help that much. I mean, it could get a pawn, but then it won't help too much because
Yeah,
it
it
will
won't
lose
help.
the pawn again with bishop,
Right.
with the bishop.
right. So now we have seen 3 examples where the intermediate move did not work out. Let me see if we have some examples where it does work out. No, I think it is all, they have given examples, because when there are in practice puzzles, they have given examples where the actual intermediate move does work out.
So it's white to play.
It is white to play.
So bishop captures h6.
Bishop captures f6, then the queen will capture on h6.
h6, not f6.
Yeah, queen, black queen is
H6.
there on h6, right? Black queen will capture on h6.
Then
And then you don't have anything. So white starts by capturing the black's bishop.
Yeah. So then he can play the bishop to d4 after the black rook takes, and then he's
See.
threatening checkmate and capture rook.
See,
Sir, I
white-
played this game with somebody. I don't remember, and I won it.
I don't think you have played this game. You might have solved this as a puzzle in one of the chess games. Because see what happens is, now if black takes the rook, then it is winning for white. Because now you will go bishop on d4 and you are threatening the rook, at the same time you are threatening checkmate. So obviously black has to prevent the checkmate.
Yes, sir. That guy moved b2. He killed it.
Yeah,
And I
think it
did
was the
this.
chess thing only. But only thing is that
No, sir.
black does not take the rook. Black plays f4.
f4, yes.
Black plays f4. Now pawn is actually sacrificed. Okay, it is not this one. But why is the pawn being sacrificed? You will come to know. You will come to know. Now if bishop takes f4, now your bishop can no longer come to d4, right? Now black is ready to capture on b2. Now your earlier strategy will not work now. If you put the bishop on e5 now, because the bishop has moved from e3 to f4, so now to create the mate threat you have to go on e5, but the queen is controlling it.
No, sir, direct checkmate with rook takes rook. I
Yeah,
think.
rook takes rook also. Yeah, there is a direct checkmate. So you cannot bishop to if rook takes f1 is a checkmate. So you cannot do that. What if we do? If rook takes f4, if rook takes f4, then black rook will take on f4. And even if you now white knows that you cannot take back the rook, because if you take back the rook, then black will take the rook on d4, and there is no checkmate threat now. So that is why if white saves the rook by killing the black rook, then also it is going to become a checkmate. Rook takes rook goes to f1, bishop g1, and now queen c6. Sorry, queen to b6. Now how do you prevent it? Queen to b8 check, king h7, queen a7, and now it is still rook takes g1 is a checkmate, because with the help of the queen, right? So there was a forced checkmate for white. So rook cannot take on f4.
Sir, can you take it back?
Yeah. See what happened was that rook went to f1, so bishop went to g1. That is the only way to protect. Now queen went to b6 and said that okay, now I am threatening rook to g1 or queen to g1 checkmate. How do you do it? You cannot prevent it. Only thing that you can elongate is by queen went to b8 first check, force black to move, and then queen came to a7. So now you are not allowing queen to go to g1, because if queen goes to g1, then white queen also will kill it, black rook will kill it, white king will rook it. But that is not required, because rook can simply kill on g1 and it's a checkmate, right? So
can you go to rook into f4?
yeah,
So before rook into f4 actually. Sir, instead of rook into f4, next move, sir, white's move.
yeah, next move, white's move. White played bishop to c5. White attacked the other rook.
Yes, sir. If white took the pawn on f4, then can't black put his rook on a1?
Black can no. What is that? Sorry, black. If white played bishop to c5. Now black to play now.
So I'm saying if white took on f4
If white took on f4 with what?
with his rook.
With his rook. Okay, fine. Then
So does rook a1 work for black?
rook a1 does not work for flag so much because bishop will go to g1.
Okay, G1. Yes, sir.
So can't the rook take?
Yeah, rook can take it, king will take it. No?
No, can't the rook take the other rook on B2?
When? Now it is black's turn, not white turn. So, yeah, you can take the other rook. You can take the other rook. But then what happens is, if you take the other rook, then what happens is, white rook will take on f8. Black king will take it. And then the bishop will go on d4 again. Bishop will again go on d4, threaten the rook as well as... no, now you cannot because the rook is... No, now itself, if you take it, then if you... No, it isn't. Yeah, it is possible. Black can take the rook on b2 also.
Okay.
Black can take this on b2 also. But you know what? Then in fact, queen should take on e3 now. That is also a possibility. Queen takes on e3.
Huh?
So if white queen takes it, then rook to a1 check.
Yeah.
So you will get back your queen. Anyway, it's a complicated position. But bishop to c5 and allowing black to capture the queen. But rook takes f8. So king to h7, and now rook takes a2. So now white has got an overwhelming advantage. So black can go back to queen can go to e1, but bishop will go to g. And if g takes h2, now
King takes h2.
No, you can't do king takes h2 because then I think queen h4.
will be checkmate, right? But what can white do? White can do rook to f1, sacrificing the rook.
Sir,
Yeah.
so then after
But
take,
it won't. But sir, it still won't work.
No, after this king can take on h2.
then there's
So now the queen is not going to
yeah.
h4. So now queen goes to b1, but now rook saves itself. And if queen takes c2, rook takes b7.
so is this a draw?
It actually you just based on this you cannot tell because black has also, but black ended up winning, but it is so the combination is gone, right? Because of that intermediate move, the combination is gone.
So after this move, it is threatening checkmate and taking the rook. So can he save?
No, he cannot, right? He cannot because the rook will be gone now, right? See, actually the rook takes b7 is wrong because no, actually it is possible. Queen rook will save itself, right? Rook will save.
So next move would be h4.
Huh?
So then h4
Next move will be h4.
Next move will be h4.
Queen h4.
So you have
Wait,
to
sir. No, that can be.
Yeah,
Now
that
what
is the
I
reason.
can move is f2. I can now move f2.
No, but if you move to f2, then the rook will be gone,
Oh yeah.
right? So now the black actually white should not have taken on b7. But if it does not take on b7, then also black next move will move the pawn to b5 and then connected passers. So black is going to win this. So I think this is one win for black only. Win for black. And so I think the key move was this f4 in between.
Sir,
Right? It created a confusion and it created all kinds of things.
sir,
Yeah.
can you go to the 8th move after queen goes to c2?
Yeah.
Here, yes, sir.
Here,
Yeah.
white should play something different. White should
G6, bishop c6. It isn't
Bishop-
stopping the pawn.
bishop where?
G,
B6.
B6. but
Yeah.
it is not for more time.
Yeah, it
Black
is.
can simply play b1 or b2, b3.
Yeah. Black will play his c pawn is there. Now he will just push forward the pawn.
Yes.
And it is very close to becoming a queen. So, okay. So I think we have very little time left. So we have to stop and rejoin. Okay. So I'm going to stop the recording and